beautiful life.
สวัสดีครับ Good afternoon and welcome to A Beautiful Life on englishonline.rmutp.ac.th. My name is อาจารย์เกษมพุทธเรืองศรี your host for the program. A Beautiful Life is a program broadcasted every Monday from 1 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Articles and information about life lessons or good phrases from the books or websites will be presented in this program together with the latest news from Rajamongkol University of Technology Panakorn for you to enjoy. Today we start with the article from China News Asia. They say how often you lie depends on who you are talking to. Does a personal connection increase or decrease the likelihood of sticking to the truth? This Wake Forest University researcher explains how the recipient and the medium affect telling the truth. So Christian B. Miller reported from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. She said prominent cases of purported lying continue to dominate the news cycle. United States President Joe Biden's son Hunter Biden was charged with lying on a government form while purchasing a handgun. Republican Representative George Santos allegedly lied in many ways, including the donors through a third party, in order to misuse the funds raised. The rapper Offset admitted to lying on Instagram about his wife, Cardi B, being unfaithful. There are a number of variables that distinguish these cases. One is the audience. The faceless government, particularly donors and millions of online followers, respectively. Another is the medium used to convey the alleged lie on bureaucratic form through intermediaries and via social media. Differences like these lead researchers like Christian B. Miller to wonder what factors influence the telling of lie. Does a personal connection increase or decrease the likelihood of sticking to the truth? Are lies more prevalent on text or email than on the phone or in person? An emerging body of empirical research is trying to answer these questions, and some of the findings are surprising. They told lessons for how to think about the area of your life where you might be more prone to tell lies, and also about where to be most cautious in trusting what others are saying. As the recent director of the Honesty Project and author of Honesty, the Philosophy and Psychology of a Neglected Virtue, Christian B. Miller is especially interested in whether most people tend to be honest or not. Most research on lying asks participants to self-report their lying behavior. Say during the past day or week, whether you can trust liars to tell the truth about lying is another question. The classic study on lying frequency was conducted by psychologist Bella de Porto in the mid of 1990s. It focuses on face-to-face interactions and used a group of student participants and another group of volunteers from the community around the University of Virginia. The community members averaged 1 lie per day, while the students averaged 2 lies per day. This result became the benchmark, finding in the field of honesty research and helped lead in an assumption among many researchers that lying is commonplace. But averages not describe individuals. It could be that each person in the group tells one or more lies per day, but it's also possible that there are some people who lie voraciously and others who lies very rarely. In an influential 2010 study, the second scenario is indeed what Michigan State University communication researcher Kim Sorota and his colleague found. Out of 1,000 American participants, 59.9% claimed not to have told a single lie in the past 24 hours. Of those who admitted they did lie, most said they told very few lies. Participants reported 1,646 lies in total, but half of them came from just 5.3% of the participants. This general pattern in the data has been replicated several times. Lying tends to be rare, except in the case of small group of frequent liars. So the question is, does the medium make a difference? Might lying become more frequent under various conditions? What if you don't just consider face to face interactions, but introduce some distance by communicating via text, email, or the phone? Research suggests the medium does not matter much. For instance, a 2014 study by Northwestern University communication researcher Madeleine Smith and her colleagues found that when participants were asked to look at their 30 most recent text messages, 23% said there were no deceptive texts. For the rest of the group, the vast majority said that 10% or fewer of their texts contained lies. Recent research by David Markowitz at the University of Oregon successfully replicated earlier findings that had compared the rates of lying using different technologies. Are lies more common on text, the phone, or on email? Based on survey data from 205 participants, Markowitz found that on average, people told 1.08 lines per day. What? But once again, with the distribution of lies skewed by some frequent liars. Not only were the percentage very low, but the difference between the frequency with which lines were told via different media were not large. Still, it might be surprising to find that, say, lying on video chat was more common than lying face to face, with lying on email being least likely. A couple of factors could be playing a role. Recordability seems to reign in the lines. Perhaps knowing that the communications leaves a record rates varies about detection and makes lying less appearing. Synchronicity seems to matter too. Many lies occur in the heat of the moment, so that many sense that where there's a delay in communication, which with as with email, lying would decrease. So the question is, does the audience change things? In addition to the medium, does the intended receiver of the potential lie make any difference? Initially, you might think that people are more inclined to lie to strangers than to friends and family. Given this impersonality of the interaction in the one case and the bonds of care and concern in the other, but matters are a bit more complicated. In her classic work, De Paulo found that people tend to tell what she called everyday lines more often to strangers than family members. To use her example, these are smaller like told her that her muffins were the best ever and exaggerated how sorry I was to be late. For instance, DePaulo and her colleague Deborah Cashy reported that participants in one of their study lied less than once per 10 social interactions with their spouse and children. However, when it came to serious lies about things like affairs or injuries, for instance, the pattern flipped. Now, 53% of serious lies were close partners in the study's community participants, and the proportion jumped to 72.7% among student volunteers. Perhaps not surprisingly, in these situations, people might value not damaging their relationships more than their value of the truth. Other data also find participants tell more lies to friends and family members than to strangers. So now come to the last topic, investigating the truth about lies. It is worth emphasizing that these are all initial findings. Further applications is needed, and cross-cultural studies using non-Western participants are scarce. Additionally, there are many other variables that could be examined, such as age, gender, religion, and political affiliation. When it comes to honesty, the Christian B. Miller find the results in general promising. Lying seems to happen rarely for many people, even to strangers, and even via social media and texting. Where people need to be especially discerning though is in identifying and avoiding the small number of rampant liars out there. If you are one of them yourself, maybe you never realize that you are actually in a small minority. Christian B. Miller is A.C. Reid professor at philosophy at Wake Forest University. This commentary first appeared in the conversation, so read more about how often you lie depends on who you are talking to from China News Asia. Next, we have another articles from China News Asia. They ask why whistleblower programs matter in Singapore. They said the fact that the Kinderland Woodlands abuse case first surfaces on social media calls into question the strength and effectiveness of whistleblowing channels within organizations in Singapore, says LRN Corporation's Susan Diver. Susan Divers reported from Singapore. Organizations often speak highly of their corporate culture, showcasing their appealing working environment, nurturing approach to career progression, and their commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Of equal importance is their ability to root out and deal with serious problems. The recent Kinderland Woodland abuse case that first surfaces on social media saw a preschool teacher ill-treating children. Their actions, such as forcing one child to drink water, it has demonstrated the importance of robust whistleblower program and the harmful effects of an ineffectiveness reporting system. Behind this case is a familiar pattern emerging in Singapore, where social media often appears to be the platform in which allegations of misconduct surface and gain wider traction. While the reasons for this phenomenon are manifold, it calls into question the strength and effectiveness of official whistleblowing channels within organizations in Singapore. So the topic is the use of social media as a platform for whistleblowing. While there are no over overarching whistleblowing laws in Singapore apart from specific laws governing corruption, drug use, or gambling that are decided to protect the informant. Many companies has whistleblower programs, while internal auditors manage reporting channel to ensure confidentially and conduct investigations. However, most Singapore companies do not have a strong culture of protection whistleblowers. The 2023 LIN Code of Conduct report revealed the code of conduct of top publicly traded company across Europe, North America, and Asia, assessing them on metrics such as the ease of speaking up about risky topics, usability of the code of conduct, and knowledge reinforcement through learning and development initiative. The report found that the companies in Singapore's STI 30 had the lowest code effectiveness scores. Company in Japan's NIK 40 are the next worst performance, while the top performers are companies from the US S&P 100. More broadly, the report found that globally speak up the culture appears deficient in most organizations. Over 57% of the studies could have a strong non-retaliation policy for employees to speak up about misconduct, and just 17% explain the procedure of investigating misconduct. Without knowledge or understanding of official reporting channels, or in the absence of such avenues, social media became an attraction and accessible option for people to air their grievance. In other cases, they sees it as their last resort to ensure the misconduct is made known to galvanize others towards their cause. Even the robust whistleblower program in place, cultural influence remain a significant factor for Singapore when it comes to speaking up. A culture of deference to seniors and elder in the workplace may contribute to individuals being fearful of reporting misconduct. This fear is not without merit, as we have seen it happen in big and small companies. German payment professor Weikart, ex-employee Puff Gill, faces retaliatory action when he surfaced evidence of fraud to his employers, despite his senior position and Asia Pacific head of legal. So the topic is a good textbook whistleblower program, identifying red flags at the earliest opportunity can prevent misconduct from escalating into major compliance scandals, averting potential loss of trust, talent, and business. A strong internal framework empowers staff to speak up, enabling prompt investigation and necessary measure. This is cultural in an age where social media can keep unwanted negative publicity on top of the company's reputation. So what does a good textbook whistleblower program look like? First, An effective whistleblower program should offer diverse, user-friendly channels that are ideally operational 24/7 and multilingual for reporting potential misconduct. For example, for smaller organizations, a dedicated mailbox for round-the-clock written submissions or dedicated email or online form can work. Second, the inner working of whistleblowing should be transparent alongside assurance and anonymity and the fairness of the system. Senior leadership should regularly communicate to employees the success and impact the whistleblower program. Adopting such measure alongside anti-retaliation policies that safeguard those who speak up could go a long way to assuage employee concerns about potential re- reprisals. In a clear example of what not to do, Kinderland's initial response to the video was to ban the use of personal devices at work, while the organization justified this move by stating it was a to protect the privacy of children. The act was instead broadly perceived as an attempt to stifle whistleblower. This prompted the Singapore government to weigh in, warning preschool operators not to hire teachers from reporting wrongdoing through the use of personal mobile devices. Finally, an ethic reporting program holds everyone to do the same standard, including senior executives, especially in smaller organizations with leaner hierarchy and where everyone knows each other. Fair consequence encourage employers to call out unethical misconduct even in situations involving power differentiations. So the last topic is protecting whistleblowers is key to organizational success. The reality is that organizations that operate successful whistleblower program detect fraudulent activities far more quickly. Among the 2,110 cases of occupational fraud investigated globally by certified fraud examiners between January 2020 and September 2021, organizations with proper hotlines set up were able to detect fraud within a year on average, compared to 18 months for those that do not. An organization is immune to ethical challenges, and whistleblower program must be accessible and seen as strategical asset to protect the organization and its stakeholders. Foster a culture where employees feel safe to report misconduct can mitigate legal and reputational risks for companies, further strengthen their ethical foundation. So Susan Diver is senior advisor at LRN Corporation, which educates companies about ethics and compliance. So we'll be right back after a short break.
Beautiful life.
You are listening to A Beautiful Life on englishonline.rmutp.ac.th. We are back to the news from Rajamongkol University of Technology, Pranakon. The first news from Rajamongkol University of Technology, Pranakon set up a blood donation point through the campaign RMUT We Are One, because we are one, or RMUT We Are One เพราะเราเป็นหนึ่ง Rajamongkol University of Technology พระนคร organized a blood donation activity for the National Blood Center Thai Red Cross Society under the campaign RMUT We Are One because we are one or RMUT We are one เพราะเราเป็นหนึ่ง on the first floor of ราชบุรี Direct Red Building ราชมงคล University of Technology พระนครเทเวศ Center on October the 21st 2023 with Assistant Professor ศรัทธาแข่งเพ็ญแข Assistant Rector for Student Affairs lead a team of administrators faculty staff and students to have blood donation. The total amount of blood was 35,930 cc, which is considered to be the cultivation of public consciousness, sacrifice for youth group, and to create sustainability blood donations, including passing on public consciousness from generation to generation. In addition, training activities on marketing concepts are organized and provide knowledge about blood donation. The objective is to campaign for blood donation as well as accepting applications for students to participate in the campaign contest RMUT We Are One because we are one or RMUT We are one เพราะเราเป็นหนึ่ง under the supervision of the ดั่งพ่อสอน Foundation National Blood Center Thai Red Cross Society เต็มใจ Project and the project to develop the potentials for sustainable development and progresses or โครงการพัฒศักยภาพพัฒนาก้าวหน้าอย่างยั่งยืน The next one from Rajamongkol University of Technology พระนคร trains students to prepare for the TOEIC exam. Associate Professor Dr. ณัฐโชติรักไทยเจริญชีพ Vice President for Academic Affairs and Faculty Development ราชมงคล University of Technology พระนคร presided over the opening project to prepare the TOEIC exam at the Language Institute Meeting Room, 5th floor, Ratchaburi Direct Lit Building, Ratchamongkol University of Technology พระนคร Tevet Center, with the objective of providing students who attended this training can apply the knowledge gained. Moreover, the students can develop their ability to use English to meet their standards. It is accepted by various organizations and can use the knowledge gained to benefit oneself. With Mr. Alvin Espiritu Bersamin, a lecturer at the Language Institute, Rajamongkol University of Technology พระนคร as a lecturer in this training. There are so many interesting topics such as photographs, question response, short conversation, short talk, incomplete sentences, text completion, etc. Next, ราชมงคล University of Technology พระนคร offering กฐินสามัคคี to build the JD พระมหาธาตุศรีสุวรรณคีรี Dr. นัทวรพลรัตน์สิริวัชรบุญ President of ราชมงคล University of Technology พระนคร let the administrator, lecturers, and all staff organize the กฐินสามัคคี ceremony to build the JD พระมหาธาตุศรีสุวรรณคีรี or พระมหาธาตุศรีสุวรรณคีรี Pagoda on the top of the mountain or บนยอดเขา at Sukan Kiri Temple หนองแหน Sub-District พนมสารคาม District ฉะเชิงเทรา Province on November the 5th 2023 with faithful people joining in offering congratulations with the total amount of 1,670,012 บาทวัดสุวรรณคีรีออกวัดเขาดงยาง is a public temple under the มหานิกายสังฆา or คณะสงฆ์ฝ่ายมหานิกาย built in 1957, established as a temple on December the 30th, 1988, located at the foot of Dongyang Mountain on เขาดงยาง The height of the Dongyang Mountain is about 100 meters above the sea level. Suvarnakiri Temple has a total area of approximately 14 ไร่1 งาน 76 square wa, with convenient stairs to go up the mountain. At the top of the mountain, there is a large reclining Buddha image, about 19 meters long, built by พระอาจารย์ส้วนปัญญทโร. The temple has recently started construction of JD พระมหาธาตุศรีสุวรรณคีรี or พระมหาธาตุศรีสุวรรณคีรี Pagoda, which is currently under construction but still need a lot of more budget. Therefore, ราชมงคล University of Technology พระนคร organized this กฐินสามัคคี ceremony in order to provide the จตุปัจจัย in the construction of this JD พระมหาธาตุศรีสุวรรณคีรี or พระมหาธาตุศรีสุวรรณคีรี Pagoda. Next, from Faculty of Business Administration. Faculty of Business Administration organized a project to develop potential in business administration to become a professional businessman. Assistant Professor Dr. Ratanawali Maisak, Dean of the Faculty of Business Administration, ราชมงคล University of Technology พระนคร presiding over the opening ceremony. In this occasion, อาจารย์มนัสบุญวงศ์ Head of the Management Department, gave a report on the Business Administration Potential Development Project. To become a professional businessman or for the fiscal year 2024, the project is organized to provide students who participate in the training with knowledge and skills in English and use of computer programs to apply in professional competency examinations and performing cooperative education work. In this regard, he was also honored by อาจารย์สุทธิมาวันเพ็ง Deputy Director of the Language Institute, ราชมงคล University of Technology พระนคร gave a lecture on the topic of preparing for English competency exams before graduation. Moreover, อาจารย์ธิดารัตน์นาคเกี้ยว Lecturer in Entrepreneurship, gave a lecture on the topic of English for cooperative education students. And Mr. Nopanan Nesakuni, computer science specialist, gave a lecture on the topic of preparing for the computer professional competency examination. Service Science and Information Technology, ราชมงคล University of Technology พระนคร gave a lecture on the topic of Business Information Technology applications at the Faculty of Business Administration, พระนคร Commercial Center. And the last news from ราชมงคล University of Technology พระนคร organized a ceremony to award พาณิชยการพระนคร Scholarship Academic Year 2023. Associate Professor สุภัทราโกษยการนนท์ Chairman of the พาณิชยการพระนคร Fund, presiding over the พาณิชยการพระนคร Scholarship Awarding Ceremony Academic Year 2023 at มงคลอาภา Meeting Room, 3rd floor มงคลอาภา Building, Faculty of Business Administration, พาณิชยการพระนคร Center. In this regard, Assistant Professor Yutthaphum Suvarnawet, Dean of the Faculty of Liberal Arts, as Vice President of the Education Fund, พาณิชยการพระนคร reported on the objectives of organizing this scholarship ceremony. It was organized to provide an opportunity for students who lack funds to receive continuous education and release the economic burden on their parents. It is also the development of students, monitoring their behavior as well as cultivating students' awareness, take responsibility for themselves, the family and society. At ราชมงคล University of Technology พระนครพาณิชยการพระนคร Center. There are students with good academic results, lack of fun, and have a good behavior selected to receive a scholarship at the bachelor's level, vocational certificate level. A total of 172 scholarships amounting of 2,105,000 baht. So that's the time is up for today. A beautiful life. Please join us on every Monday here on englishonline.rmutp.ac.th. Your host has been อาจารย์เกษมพุทธเรืองศรี You are welcome to subscribe our channel on englishonline.rmutp.ac.th. Thank you very much for joining our program today and see you again next Monday. สวัสดีครับ
Beautiful Life will be back again next Monday.